What is good, everybody? I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. Welcome back to another episode of Learning Granblue with Leona. You might notice there's something different this time. I've kind of entirely moved away from everything that I talked about last time. And that is entirely because they released Vane for Granblue Rising, and I fell in love immediately. I cannot explain to you how much fun I have had with this character so far, but I'm going to try my best. So, please, I'll do the YouTube thing. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you had for dinner yesterday, what your favorite Digimon trading card is. Let me know all of that in the comments. Talk about, I don't know, frame data or something. You guys figure it out. But I'm gonna try to do my best to explain Vane. And the structure for this one's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna try to explain the best that I can Vane, his basics, his combos, his game plan, and why I like him so much. So let's start. So I want to start with I'm on Dustloop right now, because I've actually decided to like write down notes and do this properly this time. So I'm on Dustloop, and I'm reading the overview for Vane, and it says Vane is a straightforward space controlling character who bullies the opponent into reckless mistakes with his powerful, far-reaching blows. That is 100% correct. So the very first thing that I found out about Vane is that his normals, while not Catalina good, they're nowhere near Catalina good. Vane has a lot of good, far-reaching normals and ways to punish opponents who are being reckless at either mid or far screen. That is Vane's Vane likes to be up close, but he loves to punish people for doing dumb shit far away. So that's where Vane thrives, and I really like that about him. It feels good to actually have a character that wants to be in the opponent's face, but also has the ability to tell the zoner to piss off. So, more about Vane's basics. So, I'll go over some of his normals, and then his specials, just the standouts. We don't need to go in depth on all of these things here because that's boring. Numbers are boring. Nobody wants to listen to that. You can go to Dustloop and read all this stuff if you want. I'm gonna hit on the important stuff. So, important. So, Vane does not have a lot of plus frames. So this is kind of a unique thing for this game. A lot of characters have like 4 or 5 moves, whether it be a normal or a special, that are plus. I think Vane only has 2. It's Close Light and Far Light. No, he might have a third one. Yeah, 6. Well, obviously 6XL, but like it's Close Light and Far Light, and then I think one of his DPs is plus on block. Nope, no, it's oh yeah. So his ultimate energy destruction, which is the big backswing with the axe. Those are plus, and then so is ultimate one for all. But we'll get to that in a minute. Those are the only plus plus on block moves that Vane has, and that's a little bit of a struggle, but it's not as bad as it may sound. Vane has a lot of good tools for pressuring the opponent, even though you can't just frame trap people to death with him. At least not all the time. On to other stuff. So his medium moves are like some of his best. Far medium is ridiculous. It's like I said, it's not the Catalina poke. Everybody's been poked to death by Catalina from what feels like full screen, but Far M catches a lot of people off guard, and then also it confirms into like every special he's got. So Far M is like your best friend. Far H also isn't bad. Far H is less of an I use it less in neutral, and I use it more as like a combo extender. But it's not bad for poking. I just prefer Far M because it's a little faster. It's also less punishable on block. And then 2M is an insane ground poke. It's -5 on block, but it's fast and it's active for a while. So it's 8 frame startup, 5 frame active, and 15 recovery. It's not that bad. And you know, like all other ground like low moves, it'll sweep people. So I try to use it a little more. I'm not used to using it as much. I'm used to using 2U, which is a little bit worse, but um, you know, I need to use 2M a little more just because it's kind of gross, and it does I like 5M. 2M leads into like it confirms into wild beat. So that's pretty much it for like his normals. He's got kind of like the usual standard stuff for pretty much everything else. Like 66H is kind of unique because it's a 3-hit attack. So when you 66H, you know, like all the other dashing normals, it's an advancing 3-hit poke. So it's like he spins with the axe and swings it 3 times. And he schmoves when he's using it. He schmoves across the screen when he is using 66H. I really like this move. It is -6 on block, but there's enough pushback to it that you're not getting punished with it all the time. So I don't mind using this in neutral. It's a little slower than 66L, obviously, but what are you going to do? You just got to mix things up. Jumping moves for Vane are kind of standard. It's like, you know, it's JL, it's cross-ups sometimes. JM is like the always cross-up attack. JH is a standard jump-in. JU is interesting. It halts his momentum in the air and then thrusts him backwards. It's very cool, not only for like challenging people in the air, but also it's like a combo extender sometimes. It's very difficult to use as a combo extender, but it's very cool. It looks so cool when you do it. So that's it for his normals. He's pretty standard overall, but he's got some unique stuff that I like, and I'm gonna be messing around with. His U is so funny. Breakthrough is the funniest unique move that you could possibly give a character, especially to me. So Breakthrough is 5U. It's 6 active, 18 recovery. It has anywhere from 25 to 51 frames of startup, and it is effectively a charged armored normal. So effectively it has unlimited hits of guard point while it's held. It says it's a gimmicky reversal and anti-mash tool. Gimmicky reversals and anti-mash tools are exactly what I'm looking for in this game. I'm gonna be honest. And it increases in damage as he takes hits. So basically he raises his axe and holds it there for as long as you hold the button, and as long as your opponent is hitting you with stuff, he's going to keep holding it. You're going to take damage while you're doing it, but you're not going to move. As soon as you let go of that button, you're going to drop the axe on their head and hit them for his like it's scaling damage based on how many times they hit you. It's unsafe at at point blank range just because like I believe it's not invincible everywhere. Like they don't have the hitboxes updated for it, obviously, but I think you can hit Vane out of it if you hit him like really high up or really low. Also, if they spot dodge around it, you are stuck in recovery for an eternity. You will get punished to death and back. So Breakthrough is really sick, but be careful when you use it. Don't be reckless with it when I do it, or do. You know, I'm not your mom, but I really like it. I think it's a very cool, unique move to give a character, and it's obviously very fitting for Vane because, you know, he's the big axe, you know, polearm himbo guy, and who doesn't love that? Now, I want to go into just a couple of his specials. I won't go into all of them in great detail, but I want to talk specifically about Wild Beat, so basically all of them, but energy destruction. Wild Beat is like your main block string ender. So it is your block string ender because while all of them are minus, it's pretty safe because you're gonna push them back with each hit. So like if you feel like you'll be in an unsafe position, you could just block afterwards. And then like if you combo with it, oh my god, you're eating. You kill them to death. Both the medium and heavy versions give a hard knockdown on hit. And then in the corner, like, you just juggle your opponent off the wall for 8 years and kill them to death with however much meter you have. I really like this move. It's very strong. I don't think there's much weakness in it. I've used it at round start just because it hits multiple times, so it, like, beats a bunch of stuff. And it's sometimes also anti-airs, depending on which version you use and where you use it at. Obviously, you want a 2H more because if you 2H, you're like 2H washes your laundry. It makes you a sandwich. It does your taxes. Like that move does everything for you if you land it, especially on counter hit. But this is also not a bad anti-air tool if you feel the need to use so and I don't know, you can't get to 2H in time. I want to talk about arm destruction. Arm destruction is a weird move. It is the best phrase I have for it is that it is a vincible DP. Mostly what you're using this for is combo ending and combo extending. So 6-2 M, and H they all have different properties, obviously. 6-2 is like the easiest one to use. Yeah, 6-2 sorry. It's the easiest one to use. It has the lowest cooldown. It's easy to confirm into like as the final hit of a combo. M is actually used as like a punish, and it's like I think it's like the middle step of a lot of combos. It's very, very cool. It's very weird to not... You got to be careful about which one you're using in, like, neutral. Just because this one is a lot slower than the other two. It links into normals on hit, though. So, like I said, this is, like, the combo extender. This is not the one that you want to, like, you know, do, like, your basic try attack, and then link into this. Because it's not fast enough to confirm. And then 236H, it does the most damage, and it links into normals in the corner. So you see this one a lot. I haven't done it yet. I'll show the videos later, but when I get into the big combos. But this one is like the glue that kind of holds all of your like big combos together. Energy destruction. I won't talk about this one a lot. It's just the big whiff punish button. It's huge. You can do it on the ground or in the air. They both have different properties based on which one you did. It's disgusting. You be sure to use this, but use it like intelligently, right? You don't want to just mash this shit at full screen because eventually something is like, they're just going to start blocking it and then jumping and then air blocking it. And then they're going to get in on you. One for all. This is Vane's best tool, and it is not close. This button is absurd. So 2-2 M, or H. One for all is the shield that Vane puts up. So each version absorbs one hit before shattering. The distance and the strength is determined by which button you press and then how fast it appears. It's sometimes, if you're too close to the corner, it's placed off screen, so you got to be kind of careful there. And your opponent can play around it because they can cancel their moves after breaking the shield. So, like, if they hit the shield with a normal, they can cancel into something else. Importantly, for accessibility, it changes colors depending on what side he's on. So, it threw me off a little bit at first because I was like, wait, why is my shield blue here? I didn't use the EX version, but it was because I was on player 2. So, this button lets you, like, gives you full control of neutral. It's really bad into some matchups. Like, Matera just eats this thing alive. Fairy can also do the same thing, but to less of, like, an egregious extent that Matera does. And some characters can just get around it, Cagliostro can teleport, Beelzebub can teleport, Vera can just fly over it, so can Grimnir. But this button is your best friend. This is the greatest thing that you have in your tool, and you need to use it and learn how to use it. It is your best way to keep people at your preferred distance. So the best way that I can describe this is you put this down and you wait for your opponent to do something dumb. So, like, you do your normal thing, you confirm into a button, you hit them with like your 5M or your 2M, and then you get your, oh my god, I've already forgotten the name of it. You get Wild Beat, and then you get a knockdown, and then you set up your shield. You do that. That is like your game plan. I guess I'm skipping a step here. That is like your game plan. Your main game plan is to get to a point where you can set up One for All, and then keep your opponent at your preferred distance so that you can punish them either with arm destruction if they're going too far into the air, or 2H in that case, energy destruction if they're trying to do stuff at full screen to break your shield, or just like your normals. Like, people will sometimes try to spot dodge or like slide around the shield, and then you can just throw them out of it. I really like this move. I think it's such a fascinating move. It's like an Aegis Reflector, but it doesn't hurt them unless you use the EX version. So I will get into some of the ultimate versions. Ultimate Wild Beat is really cool. It's the same thing, but it wall bounces the opponent. So you can I've confirmed this into like 5H and then into arm destruction. I really like that combo. It's also, it hits a ton. So like if you have a button that you think you're going to clash with your opponent and you use Ultimate Wild Beat, it'll clash with the first hit, and then the rest of the hits will just tear them to shreds. Ultimate Arm Destruction is your only other non-SBA invincible reversal. It is the only actual DP that you have. That's kind of all it's really got going for it. It does a ton of damage, to be fair. And like you can use this as a combo ender if you've only got 50 meter. But it's just kind of there. It's really good though. Don't get me wrong. The button is really good, but it is just an EXDP. So Ultimate Energy Destruction is kind of wild. I haven't figured out how to quite use it yet myself, but I want to. This is like the tool that I want to know how to use the most because I think it's dope as hell. So this is like I think this one is almost full screen. If not, it's very close. It's the big axe, and you swing it full screen, and it ground bounces the opponent on hit. So you can like extend combos off of it. It's like the only move, it's like the one remaining move that he has that's plus on block. And it's so good at just punishing random stuff. So like your opponent tries to like 6-6L or 6-6M you in neutral, like as they're running and trying to break through your shield. You Ultimate Energy Destruction and you take 20% off their HP. It's ridiculous. The air variant stalls Vane a little bit. So if your opponent doesn't have the timing down for this one, they can get got by it, which is very funny. It also, it says here, it gives a hard knockdown on hit and is plus on block. It makes it good for baiting throws, which I haven't done with it, but I mostly try to use this move at a little bit further distance than like right up next to my opponent. But it's good. I'm going to use it more. I need to learn how to use it better is kind of where I'm at. Ultimate One for All is so fucking funny. This is the funniest anti-air that you could ever give to a character. So it's just the same thing as all of his other shields, but this one actually has a hitbox, and it does damage. This one absorbs 3 hits. It's a 3-hit projectile, and it can be used to like meaty people. So like I've used this to set up on people in the corner, where like they have to block it, and then I can just throw them or punish them with something else, like the Raging Strike. I've anti-aired people with this button and then killed them off of it. I love this thing. I don't use it all the time, but when I do, I have a big dumb smile on my face because my opponent knows that they just got hit by the dumbest shit on the planet. I don't think I need to talk about any of his SBAs. They're pretty generic. They look sick, but it's just, you know, they're SBAs. There's no like utility with them other than the fact that they just do a shitload of damage. Just a massive amount of damage. Importantly, Vane's SBA and is kind of like Beelzebub's SSBA, where when it hits, it'll just shove the opponent to full screen. So if they don't spot dodge it, you do become quite safe because you do shove them away from you. So now that's it for like the basics and the game plan. I'm gonna get into some combos now. I have some videos that I'm gonna show right here. There we go. Only took a few tries that time, and mostly because I kept pressing EXU instead. Oh well. Not bad otherwise. Yeah, I had to go into the combo mode for this one. I just didn't remember how to set it up. Ah, I did the medium version twice in a row. Hang on. There we go. Okay, yeah. That one's a little trickier just because of the height on it, but it's not bad otherwise. I'm getting the hang of these. It's just gonna take me a tiny bit more to figure out the, get them really down pat. And these are the, like, these are like the quote-unquote optimal, probably not optimal. I got them from the training mode thing, and they may or may not be optimal, I don't know, but they feel really good, and I've been trying to practice all of them as much as I can, even though I'm not consistent with them. The hard part about combos is not learning the actual combos, it's learning when to actually do them because you got the random hit that you need to start them. So I think they're really cool, and importantly, they're very fluid. You can kind of, it's a lot like Soul from Guilty Gear in that regard, where it's kind of like, you can just kind of press one button and then do a bunch of random stuff off of it, and that's like a combo that you could realistically do in most situations. I really like that about Vane. He's very fluid, even though he does have optimal stuff that you want to be doing. So, and I am going to practice that. I really want to, because I think they're dope. But that's kind of it for like Vane as a character. Overall, I love the guy. He's so cool. And this is kind of going to bring me to my next point, where it feels good to have finally found what I consider to be like the right character for me. So I obviously everybody knows how I started this game. You can go watch the other videos if you want to, you know, plug, to see how I come along with those guys. But by the end of March, I was still kind of in a rut. Like, I was having fun with the game again. I was having an okay time, you know, just playing with my friends, hitting the ladder occasionally, learning how to do some cool stuff. But I still felt like I was missing something. And Vane released, and I was like, oh, here's the final piece of the puzzle. Vane as like a character, not as like a mechanic, not mechanically, not as like a kit. As a character is exactly what I needed. I needed a dude who was gay as hell and loved all of his friends and wanted to beat the fuck out of the people who disliked his friends. Like, that's exactly what I needed. And I was just like, oh, my brain is unlocked and I'm doing really stupid things now and I'm having fun again. Vane, it felt so good for Vane to show up and be like, here, let me hold your hand. Let me pick you up off the ground. All right, homie, let's go beat the shit out of these guys. It's just, I love that it took Obviously for me, if any of you have seen my Fire Emblem streams, I love Hector, the big axe himbo. It took the big axe himbo to get me to love the game again. And who would have thought? But I love that he's just like a homie to everybody. And especially to the interactions that he has with Matera are very funny because he's like, I don't know, dog, I've got a boyfriend. You might want to go find someone else. I love that about Vane. He's such a cool guy. I can't. I am finding I am at a loss for words is how much I like this guy. He's so much fun and so fun to watch and to listen to, and he's just a cool dude. Who would have thought a gym rat would be the guy, the thing that fixes me? But when I moved to Vane, it was kind of a weird experience because obviously it's a whole new kit. Whole new character, a lot of new stuff to learn, but I felt like I was kind of in a good spot, and I was like, this is weird. I wonder why this is fine, but everything else before it has been so awkward and felt like there was a lot of growing pains, And don't get me wrong, Vane had its growing pains because I was learning a whole new kit, but this was where my next point comes in, where it's like transferring basic skills increases the speed at which you learn new things. So doing over and over again, I did not have a ton of big combos with Beelzebub. Beelzebub's combos were ridiculously hard. I learned one of them, and I think hit it once ever because it was just so hard, and it was not something that you would always use. So you would just confirm, medium into your DP or the big spin move or whatever. And that was kind of your game plan. And then you throw spikes at people from full screen and try to teleport on them if you feel like being cheeky. That was the game plan. But that all kind of transferred over to playing Vane because I was like, I can just do I can confirm my 3-hit attack into my special and then set up my thing and then call it a day. And getting that out of the way made learning the big combos way more efficient. I transferred the game plan from Beelzebub to Vane because they're not even in the same class, right? Beelzebub's kind of like a mid-range zoner, and Vane is just kind of a gym rat who wants to keep you in the corner. So they're not even the same character class, but having those utilities be so similar helped me pick up Vane at a much faster rate. And I think that's a good thing because it shows that switching characters however long into a game's life cycle you are is not always a death sentence. You don't have to always start over from square one. I feel like I didn't start from square one. I feel like I started from right where I was at last time. I picked up Vane, started playing him, and obviously I was like, this is what this button does, this is what this button does, and after a day or two I was like, cool, I'm gonna do this really dumb corner combo and kill you off of it. It was so fast, I couldn't believe it. Transferring skills from one character to another is so important. And again, I think that's why Granblue is such a good game for new players. I've mentioned this a lot, but not only is Granblue a big multimedia thing, they just had Relink come out, and the gacha's been around for, oh my god, a decade at this point, or probably more than that. They've had a bunch of anime, and so if you like Granblue and you've never played a fighting game and wanted to get into it, you have this to look forward to. You can play one character and be like, I probably don't want to play this character anymore. I want to move on to a different character. Your skills from that first character are going to move to that second character, and you're going to pick them up way faster than you did the first one. And that is just going to transfer each time. So, as you grow and gain more experience, you're just going to keep doing that over and over and over again. So, if I move on from Vane, which I may or may not do, it really just depends. I really like Vane, but oh my god, Beatrix. Oh, Beatrix. Anyway, I'm not gonna. This is not appropriate for YouTube. Having that experience is so important, and it made the experience of playing and learning Vane so much more fun and, importantly, more rewarding. And it made me want to keep going. It made me want to keep learning these things. Like, I popped into training mode like once a day just to do those combo trials and like do stuff. It's been so much fun. And on that note, I'll give like a general hitbox or leverless update. I'm not on a hitbox because fuck those guys. But I've switched almost entirely to the, I don't know what they're called in this game. They're like the simple controls, whatever you want to call it. The controls without the special, like the motion inputs. And it's made my gameplay feel a little more fluid. Now, that's not to say that this is generally something that you have to do or even like is a good thing, but I did it because I wanted to try it, and I really have been enjoying my experience a little more, just because it feels like it's taken more of a weight off of my mental stack, trying to do like get the right special input and making sure that I don't drop something. And it's been like, okay, so I need to do this here and this here and this here, and help me manage neutral a little easier. So moving on to simple inputs and playing on the leverless have also drastically increased like my proficiency at playing Granblue and other fighting games at that. I really like playing on a leverless. My hands do cramp after a little while, so remember, take breaks, drink your water, get up and stretch. If you are experiencing discomfort while playing a game, stop playing the game and go do something else for a little bit. Like, you just have to, for your health and for your well-being. If you are in like distress, go do something else. Go take a walk. Go see your grandma. Go make tea or something. I don't know. Just get up and go do something else. It's important. But that's the general leverless update. I really like it. I think it's good for Granblue. I think it's been good for all of my other games too. It's still some growing pains. I'm still misinputting some stuff just because of how the leverless works and reads inputs. But I really like it. And that's kind of it for this month's update. I'm learning Vane, and I'm probably going to be taking him to Combo Breaker. I might keep Beelzebub in the back pocket because, like I said, Matera is a huge bitch, and she could rot in hell. And I think Beelzebub is going to be the only thing that helps me make sure that happens. But other than that, I'm probably going to run Vane at Combo Breaker because he's so cool, he's so much fun, and I want to put more time into him. Now, that said, there will be a change, possibly. I want to learn Beatrix. She looks so cool, and I love Aya Hirano. I need that in my life. I need more Hirano-san in my life. I want Beatrix to glare at me like she did in the trailer. I'm being so normal about this. But I think I will. I could possibly stick with Vane. I want to play Beatrix, but if she's not fun, I've always got Vane to fall back on, and I'm not gonna like disown him or anything. Like, he's so cool, and he's been so much fun and very rewarding to play. So I'm not getting rid of him by any means, but I will try to learn Beatrix for a minute. And that's kind of it for the month. Going into next month, the time that the next month's video goes up, I will be at Combo Breaker. So I won't have an update for any of that experience until probably sometime in June, depending on how the timeline works out. I'm not looking at a calendar right now, but that will come afterwards, whether it is immediately or not. You will hear about the Combo Breaker experience at some point. And that's it for learning Granblue with Leona for April of 2024. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is going to be a really fucking long one if my audio recording is anything to go by. So I'm going to get to the Patreon shout outs real quick. Hold on. So a big shout out to Wister Sincere, Quill Egan, Kitty Day, and Simon Braindley. Oh my god, I'm going to keep messing that up. Sorry, Simon. Thank you guys so much for helping me out and supporting me on Patreon. It means a whole lot to me, especially now that like I've had some plans kind of fall through and I've had to reset a bunch of stuff. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I love this and I want to share more of that love with everybody. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff. Tell me about what lunch you had, because by the time this video is over, you're going to have time to have gone and made a sandwich or even a pizza. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good weekend, everybody.